Defeat hangs over the Middle East like a suffocating curtain, and the latest satellite images have torn away any illusion that this confrontation remains contained. Fresh commercial imagery from firms such as Planet and Airbus appears to show significant damage to facilities linked to the United States across the Gulf, including the headquarters of the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet in Manama, Bahrain, where 2 satellite communications terminals were reportedly destroyed. Once viewed as a cornerstone of American naval dominance in the region, the base now bears visible scars, with damaged infrastructure and debris, marking what analysts describe as one of the most serious escalations yet between Washington and Tehran. According to reporting that draws on satellite data, authenticated videos, and official military briefings, Iran launched coordinated strikes on at least 6 American-linked sites after the United States and Israel initiated attacks on Iranian territory. The precise number of missiles or drones fired remains unclear, as does how many were intercepted. But what stands out is the breadth of the response. From Kuwait's Ali Al Salem Air Base, where rooftops appear collapsed, to Camp Arifjan, where U.S. officials say 3 American service members were killed and several others seriously wounded, and to installations near Erbil International Airport in Iraq, where smoke and flames rose after repeated impacts. In the United Arab Emirates, imagery from Jebel Ali Port shows smoke rising within a U.S. Navy recreational zone, underscoring how even frequently used logistical hubs are no longer immune. The disruption of satellite communication systems is particularly alarming, striking at the digital backbone that enables coordination, surveillance, and rapid response, and raising urgent questions about the vulnerability of installations long considered hardened and secure. As the dust settles over damaged compounds and assessments continue, the strategic picture remains fluid, with each side weighing its next move, while the risk of miscalculation grows. Meanwhile, the northern front between Israel and Hezbollah has ignited with renewed ferocity. Beirut awoke before dawn to the roar of Israeli warplanes sweeping low over the capital, unleashing waves of airstrikes on southern suburbs after Hezbollah fired rockets and drones toward a military site near Haifa. Thick plumes of smoke rose over residential districts as explosions shattered windows and forced families to flee. The Israel Defense Forces said it intercepted some incoming projectiles, while others landed in open areas, reporting no Israeli casualties, but the response was swift and expansive, targeting areas including Beirut's Dahieh suburb, the Bekaa Valley, and regions near Tyre. Israel's military leadership declared the start of an offensive campaign, mobilizing tens of thousands of reserve soldiers and warning of days of intense fighting ahead, with all options on the table. Evacuation warnings were issued to dozens of villages and towns in southern Lebanon and the Bekaa, signaling expectations of a prolonged confrontation. On the ground, civilians describe consecutive blasts tearing through neighborhoods, buildings shaking violently, and frantic dashes to safety between strikes. Lebanon's health ministry reports dozens killed in the Israeli bombardment, while Hezbollah frames its attacks as retaliation tied to the broader regional crisis and as a defense of Lebanese sovereignty. Lebanese officials, who had cautioned against entering a wider war, now face the grim prospect of a conflict spiraling beyond control. Across Bahrain, Kuwait, Iraq, the UAE, Israel, and Lebanon, the pattern is unmistakable. Military infrastructure hit, communications disrupted, civilians caught in the shockwaves, and a region edging closer to a confrontation that could redraw strategic lines for years to come. The fog of war clouds exact figures and final outcomes, but the trajectory is clear. Tensions are no longer simmering. They are accelerating toward a potentially far more volatile phase. As this story continues to unfold, stay informed, question every claim, and seek verified updates from credible sources. Because in moments like these, clarity is power. If you found this detailed breakdown valuable, share it, subscribe for in-depth analysis, and join the conversation. Your engagement helps ensure that complex global events are understood, not just witnessed.